Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, Outdoor Edition, the People's Show. Checking the pulse of Husker Nation, brought to you by X-Cancer. Check them out at xcancer.com. This is my gut reaction. We have a new running backs coach. Scott Frost has officially filled out all of his assistants. His entire coaching staff is now in place. Mr. Bryan Applewhite. All right. Admittedly, I didn't know a ton about him, but I've talked to some people, gotten to know some things. I've heard great things so far. And some of the big things that I've heard that people like about him, okay, is his mental approach to the game. And he actually doesn't even hardly fancy himself as a coach so much as he does a mentor. Obviously, that's a huge part of coaching, but that's kind of his approach to the game. This is a guy who won 2 national titles as a player, as a fullback. He's been paying his coaching dues for over 20 years. He recently coached at TCU for 2 seasons as well. Now, he played at Northern Colorado, coached at Northern Colorado. Okay, played there in the 90s. He's also coached at South Dakota, Louisiana Monroe, Colorado State, and as I previously mentioned, TCU. So Mr. Applewhite, welcome to Nebraska. What he had to say, and I quote, "It's an honor to join the coaching staff at Nebraska, one of the most storied and tradition-rich football programs in the country," end quote. Now, this is a talented running backs room that we have. It's an unproven running backs room that we have. We've got size, Jacques Yant, we've got speed, Ramir Johnson. There's a lot of guys. There's 6 guys on scholarship in that room with the new Texas A&M transfer that just will be joining the Nebraska football program. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of ability. There's a lot of unprovenness. It has been one time since 2014, 7 seasons ago, that we had a 1,000-yard rusher. Divine Ozigbo did it in 2018. Amir Abdullah did it in 2014. At a place like Nebraska, with as many great running backs as we have, that's kind of mind-blowing to me. All right, some of the guys that we have, I mentioned Ramir Johnson. I mentioned Jacques Yant. I mean, he's a guy that seems to have big-time potential and talent. He is very, very young. Okay, Ramir seemed to almost at the end of the year kind of maybe become the starter. Nobody's really taken this job by the horns, okay, for a couple of seasons now, probably really since Divine did it. Okay, Gabe Ervin started the first game of the year, first true freshman in Nebraska football history to do that at the running back position. Unfortunately, he got hurt. People were hoping when Marquise Stepp came from USC as a transfer, he'd be able to step in, be that experienced guy. He didn't quite get the playing time he wanted, and probably other people were hoping he'd be able to earn as well. All right, we need someone who can carry the load on the ground. All right, we got Casey Thompson coming in as a quarterback. Well, that's great. He's got to earn the job, first of all. But he's got talent, he's got ability. We need an offensive line to block. That's a show for another day. But we need a running back to actually carry the load. Adrian Martinez, Luke McCaffrey, you could argue, Dedrick Mills, did pretty good a season ago. He was our leading rusher in 2020, the shortened 2020 COVID season. But our quarterbacks have really been our best running backs. You can't have that. We got to have a running back or 2. If you want to go with a rotation, that's fine with me, but I don't like going by committee. Somebody's got to step up and take this bull by the horns. The Big Ten last year, okay, had 7 running backs across this conference that gained over 1,000 yards. Nebraska's leading rusher a year ago had 495 yards. You go back to 2020, a shortened COVID season with Dedrick Mills, he led the team with 396 yards rushing. If you add those 2 seasons together, that's not 1,000 yards. You got to add 2019's leading rusher plus 2020 plus 2021. We need someone who can carry the load as a running back, as the leading rusher on this team. The line's got to block better. Again, show for another day. And that, if we want better play out of our quarterback, that alone is going to take the load off of whoever our starting quarterback is, whether it's Casey Thompson or someone else. And that's Mr. Bryan Applewhite's job. That's the big question. Can he develop? All right, can he get these guys rolling? And he's got to do it quickly, too. Scott Frost has to win starting this upcoming season. Can he do it quickly with that running back group? There's talent, there's potential. He's got a great mental approach to the game as a coach. Welcome to Husker Nation. Now let's light this candle. Go big, red, and always remember, throw the bug.